Happy Spiritual Sunday to you all. Yay. All right, so we're going to start with our affirmation. This is to help shift our consciousness from falsehood to truth, from chaos to order, from darkness to light. We got to remember. The thing is, there's nothing new that we're learning. Like King Solomon said, there's nothing new under the sun. The issue is we've been so involved since the time of Adam and Eve in this world, we forget to various levels that there actually is a perfect world. And so this is why every Sunday we start out with our affirmation, because we want to keep engraving in our mind and keep switching from all the falsehood we believed over all the millennium back to the truth that we know in our heart and soul. So the point of what we're learning here is how to wake up that heart and soul, because the Creator implanted in us infinite truth, infinite blessings, all good all the time. It's just our job to use our free will to make it manifest. That's it. That's all we have to do. We don't have to create anything new. We just have to reveal what's always been there. So let's start together. Gotta make sure we got it there. Okay, together. Consciousness is everything. I raise my consciousness today to see the miracles and wonders of life. I commit myself with greater love, compassion, and kindness towards all human beings. And that, of course, is the hardest part, because everybody's got somebody they don't like. And then you come, even students of the center, you say, yes, you got to send light to everybody. Send light to everybody. And you can hear right away, well, I'll send it to everybody but that person. Why? Because they did such a terrible thing. You and I have been learning, not that it's easy, but it's essential to us, that it's more powerful for us. We get more blessing in return to send light. Just send light. Like I always remind you, you don't have to hang out with them anymore. You don't have to be friends anymore. You don't have to have them over for coffee or whatever. But it's our self-survival. It's our protection to send light to everybody. Because the simplest thing that probably even children understand, if you walk in a dark room and you want to find something in that room, what do? You turn on, why do you turn on the light? It's easier to see, because why? The light takes away the darkness. There is no human being on earth who can take away darkness. We as human beings can only use the tool of a source of light, whether it's a flame of a candle, whether it's a pen light, whether it's a flashlight, whether it's stadium lights, it's room lights, whatever it is, but we can only use the tool of the light to remove darkness. Now, here's the other thing to keep in mind. Because I believe, and I hope you also believe, that the spiritual world is bigger and more powerful than the physical world. So if it works in the physical world, it's got to be bigger and more powerful, but the same in the spiritual world. So when you turn that flashlight on, let's say, do you tell the light bulb and the battery how to make the light shine? Yes or no? No, you don't have to, because it's already the laws of science that if you turn it on, you flip the switch, the light will go on, because the light bulb knows how to use the electricity. The battery knows how to let the electricity out to make the light bulb go on. And then the light bulb knows how to remove the darkness. Is everyone got that? Let's see. So then when you're thinking of that nasty person, are you in the light or dark? You're in the dark. So if you're in the dark, is your life clearer? Are things easier for you? Do you have more blessings? Are you for sure not going to step over something or bump into something or whatever in the dark? No. But if you turn on the light, then you're not going to fall into the same trap again, because you're angry at that person because of something they did, and then you fell into the trap. And if you don't take that responsibility, as we're going to make more clear today, then you're lost in a morass of chaos, obstacles, blockages, pain, and suffering. Because you're walking around in the dark. Hello, we all know that in the physical world, if you walk into some unfamiliar place in the dark, it's possible you could trip over everything in that Room, yes? Because you don't know what's there. So is it really the room's fault? Is it the chair on the room's fault? Or is it your fault for walking in the dark and not turning on the light? Look how difficult it is. You can't even answer that right away, right? No, it's our fault. Trying to walk in the dark. Okay, confession time. So Thursday, I think it was, I made myself a piece of fish. I want, a big piece of fish. I cooked it so it'd be ready for me for a few days. I took a piece and I thought, you know what? I don't want to put it on something. I took a glass plate and I put the glass plate. I figured it's already warm. I just have to warm it up a little bit. And I put the glass plate with a piece of fish in the toaster oven. And the little voice says to me, maybe that plate can't handle the heat. I said, come on, it's not that hot. Guess what? After about 3 minutes, crack. The plate cracked. Of course, I was tempted to eat the fish anyway, right? Because I didn't want to spend the money. And I thought, I better not, because who knows, small piece of glass, who knows what. But I already had the thought, don't put the glass in there. But I was silly, I don't want to say anything else, to not take it and put it back on the tray and put the proper tray in there. I just figured, speed things up, save a little foil, whatever it was. No, in the end of the story, I lost. Now, remember that story, because we're going to get to a point where you can all relate if you haven't related yet. And this, for our new friend Miriam, may be tough, because today, what I want to share with you is the means that we can have ultimately complete control over our life. Not in a manipulative way, but control whether it's light or darkness, blessing or curse. But for some of you, I'm about to push a button. And all I'm asking of you is don't dismiss. Don't just say, that's it, I can't take this. I'm also asking for those of you who are more open, don't say, I already accept that. Stop. Think for a moment, how, where, in what ways do you or don't you accept what I'm about to tell you? God does not reward, nor does God punish. And most of you, as we'll get into it, probably have some aspect of belief, but you say it, it shocks people, because I think everybody on earth still has an issue with God, one way or another. We all grow up in some form of a religion, and that religion teaches us things. And even if we've decided, well, I didn't like the way they taught it, or it didn't make sense to me, or whatever, I want to be spiritual. And then you come here to the center, but I think even that you come here, we still have that residue of thoughts. God rewards, God punishes. Some we say, okay, no, I'm in control, I can do, blah, blah, blah. But then it comes down to, no, God rewards or God punishes. Somewhere, because it's old tape we've got going in us. So I want to help all of us erase some of that tape and put in the truth. Because the Creator gave us everything to have absolute, not only control over our life, but to have absolute eternal bliss. And if we keep looking to the Creator to do it, then of course we cannot have that bliss, because it's not up to the Creator. You and I learned, let's just finish that thought for a moment. You and I have learned, although it's not easy to accept and work with, but we know, at least in the brain, what you see in the world can only come from our own consciousness. How you look at people, places, and things, good or bad, has to come from the own filters, your own filters in your own conscious, like glasses, right? If you wear dark glasses, you could look around this room and everybody will look dim. You say, why? What's going on with people? Look, they look so gray. Is it the people or is it your glasses? So then glasses that we've carried for thousands of years, and if you believe in lifetimes, reincarnation, many lifetimes, those glasses, spiritual glasses, filter what we see. And that's why we learn, when I was a kid, we used to say it. Not that we were spiritual, it was just kids. You point your finger like this. Here, let me, like this. You point your finger at somebody, say, yeah, 1 at them, 3 back at you. So you used to look at at least in our time, you look at the playground and say, you're stupid. They say, yeah, one to me, but 3 times to you. This is what we understand. What you see is what you are. So if we understand the Creator, God, whatever name you want to give it, is absolute perfection, then how can it see anything but perfection? So when the Creator metaphorically looks on this earth, all it sees is 8 billion perfect people, pure beings of light, acting with love, kindness, compassion, 100%. Not like we say even greater, no, the absolute greatest. So the Creator cannot reward or punish. How could it come up with a reward or punish if it already sees perfection? What can you change? What can you add? You can't. So let's start off with this thing called the 10 Commandments, because virtually every religion will accept the 10 Commandments. So let's ask, if these are God's commandments, then what comes after these 10? So we'll say everybody accepts, thou shalt not murder, thou shalt not steal, the basics, right? For thousands of years, nobody stole, nobody murdered, right? No? Oh, so, but if it's a God's commandment, why are they killing and stealing? Forget all the other ones. Why kill and steal if you have 10 commandments every religion believes? Because you and I have learned, and again, this may push some buttons, but at least inquire. Don't just dismiss and don't just sort of blindly accept it, because it also is unconscious. As we've talked about for the last number of weeks, this opponent, this angel of death, this evil inclination, this Satan as it's called, this adversary that's in our head, that parasite, created religion. The Creator did not create religion. And neither did Moses, Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad. None of them created a religion. It was created around them. How can I prove it? Even in simple terms. 10 Commandments, we could all say, okay, we all agree, right, with those. After that, you've got each religion has its own rules. And they'll all say based maybe on the 10 Commandments. But those rules are different. Does Christianity believe everything that Judaism believes? No. Does Judaism believe everything that Islam believes? And you go down the line. So now we all have something to fight over. Whose God's laws is the truth? Of course, but there's never been religious wars. Nobody fought, right? Because it says, thou shalt not murder. So there's no been wars over religion, yes? Hello? Fallacy. What you and I learned, Kabbalah Center. Consciousness is everything. So you go back into the original Hebrew, which is the universal language of the soul, which is why we do meditations on the 72 names created of Hebrew letters. The word is Eser Dibrot, not commandment. 10 sayings, 10 aspects of advice. You ever give advice to a friend that with all your heart and soul you thought was the best thing for them? You truly thought that would do them good? Have you ever done that and then they don't listen? How many times did they not listen and then they came back to you and said, I wish I had listened to you? Ever happened to you? So this is what the Kabbalists say those 10 utterances are. 10 sets of advice. Not you cannot murder, because obviously people have murdered. But it will not bring you any benefit, because cause and effect. A person who murders, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, the Bible gives us various coded ways to tell us. It's all cause and effect. You and I learned spiritual people. Right? I don't want to be religious. I want to be spiritual. So we all believe the law of attraction, cause and effect, action, reaction, right? So all the Kabbalists have been giving us for thousands of years, when it says when it says don't murder, it's saying, hey, there's no advantage, the opposite, cause and effect. Murder somebody, that person who murders, what's the effect? Has to be murdered, eye for eye, tooth for tooth. The universe is exact. Exact. Steal. You and I know, you learn in the classes, if you've been learning, person steals $1, the cosmic law that cannot be changed the person has to lose at least $1.20 for every dollar they steal. So you tell me, is that an advantage? If you knew that and a friend came to you and said they were thinking of stealing $10 from somebody, wouldn't you say to them, no, don't be a fool. You think you're gaining $10, it'll only be in your hand for a short while, and then you're going to lose $12.50. If they accepted that, would they say, I don't care, I'm going to steal anyway? No, they wouldn't be foolish. And then if you told them, but look, if you give that dollar charity, you're going to get 10 in return. Let's see, lose $2.50 or gain $9. Which do you think even somebody who was about to steal would do? Which choice would they take if they saw that with their eyes? They take the $9, right? But what do they have to do first? They have to give the dollar. Maybe they're feeling they have a lack, poverty consciousness. They want to give the dollar, can't afford to give the dollar, so they don't give the dollar. But if they want the 9 that the cosmos will bring them back when they give that dollar with the love, with light, with blessing, they got to give the dollar uncomfortably because they don't think they have. And then they're going to give the dollar anyway. That's all we're learning here. So the 10 utterances are advice. Don't steal. Even the first one, I am the Lord God. So you and I understand, we learn how to translate it. There's no creator being. There's what emanates from the creator that we call light. That's the closest thing we can do to get to the creator itself, the emanator of light. There's no word even in Kabbalah. For the emanator of light, there's the light. That's the force that we're connected with. Because in that light is everything the Creator infused it with. 100% peace, love, protection, prosperity. The Garden of Eden. When we first came in this world, there was a Garden of Eden. Eternal bliss. Then we screwed it up. So we're learning everything is cause and effect. Based on what? Is your life the effect of everybody else around you? Ooh, that's a tough question because some of you going, oh yeah, Chaim doesn't know what that person did to me and what they made me do. Right? They screamed at me, they made me scream back at them. Really, what did they do? How could a person, even if you think of that, you could say like my brother used to, when I have a brother 10 years older than me. So let's say I'm 8, he's 18. So he sits on top of me, he takes my hand, and he does like this. Right? So I could say he's making me hit myself. You follow? Because he physically was doing it. But how can somebody reach into your throat and make words, force words to come out of your mouth? They cannot. So when you hear yourself say, oh, they made me say that. Is that true? Now, if you stop and you think objectively, of course it's not true. You said it out of your own free will. Oh, sure, you could say they pushed my button, they, blah, blah, blah. You can blame them for everything. But at the end of the day, it was your mouth that opened, your words that came out by your volition, not from them. So you and I learned to say the same thing also with actions. They made me do. No, unless they literally grabbed you and did like this, they didn't make you do anything. Even that you could fight. I mean, if I was 18 and my brother's 18, maybe I could have stopped it. But I was 18, he was 18. I didn't have much power to stop him. But other than that, what else could we say? Who makes us do anything? No, that opponent in our head that we've given so much power to. Like people in our lives, we gave away our power. Here, tell me what to do. And then we go, okay, do it. And then after it's terrible, say, oh, why did I listen? And then what do we do next? Usually, we do it again. Tell me what to do. No, we're learning here. I want control over my life because I want to decide the path of the light or the path of darkness. I decide that. Cause and effect is exact. That's all the Zohar is telling us. That's why in the Kabbalah Center, and I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but the Kabbalah Center is unique among anyone who uses the term Kabbalah. And you can go explore for yourself, or you can ask Kabbalah teacher here in the center to explain the difference. But it is different. What we're teaching here, what's true Kabbalah, the Zohar, doesn't belong to any religion. It belongs to the soul. It is a technology of the soul. And as we often remind ourselves, other than the soul, on a physical, material level, there's nothing else in common with every human being on earth. But 8 billion people on the planet have a soul. And that soul has the same operating system because it comes from one source. Whatever name you give the source, one source. After the soul, then you got all the various differences. Color, religion, background, abilities, everything else you want to mention. And that's why the Zohar is the only universal blueprint of the details of the spiritual and therefore the physical world. And that's why the Kabbalah Center, since in essence its true founding in 1922, is open to every human being on earth. Because everybody has a soul, and everybody whose soul is awakened that they want to reach the mission that we came here for, then here's the place to do it. And again, it's not easy. It's not easy because you got to overcome all of this blockages that we've created for ourselves. Cause and effect. What does cause and effect mean? There's no exemption. Don't look to the creator, or whatever name you give it, to exempt any person from, let's say, the cause and effect of stealing. Person steals, they have to lose at least that $1.20. Read the Bible. That's the code of the Bible. Right? They catch a thief, you got to pay back 1/5 more than they stole. So they stole $1, they got to pay $1.20. That's the cosmic law. Nobody can say, oh, God will exempt them from that. No, I told you, the Creator only sees perfection. So the Creator didn't see the person steal. The Creator doesn't see the person, whatever they do after that. It's you and I who experience that. This world is of our own making. It's not of the Creator's making. We use the power of the Creator, but we make it. Every action we do sets up a cause and the effect comes back equally. Yeah, we may not be able to determine what the effect looks like because that's cosmic, related to our soul's previous actions. So there is, our soul sets up what comes back to us. But we, with our human mind, with whatever limitation we still hold, we don't decide. People think, oh yeah, I manipulate the world to make things happen. They don't know what comes after that. Manipulate the world, and I'm going to say it, take it in this frame, trying to literally manipulate circumstances is in essence stealing. And like we said, person steals, they got to lose 20% more. So obviously in money, it's easy to calculate. But in that kind of manipulation, even for good, sometimes we try and manipulate our kids into doing what we think is best for them. But do we know who they were in a past life, what they really need, what all their talents and abilities are? We have no idea. So we can give them advice. We can encourage them. We can awaken the soul in them, which is the best thing you can do for yourself or anybody else. But you can't try and manipulate. Without all the details, I tried to manipulate my kids with all the love that I could muster. Till about 6 years ago, I woke up and I realized I never thought about what they were hearing from me. Yes, I want to do all the good things that I knew would bring the protection, peace, and all the blessings. But I didn't think about, I wasn't sensitive to how they were receiving my words. So when I apologized and had the open conversation, then they started to open a little more. Yeah, we felt a little pushy. We knew you loved us. We knew you wanted good, but it was a little pushy. I didn't quite get it, that or like this. Changed our whole relationship. Thank God. Okay, thank the light. All right. Thank my soul for waking me up. So what I want us to really grasp, there is a cause and effect. So yes, when the advice is, like we said, don't steal. Why? Because the universal law. But how many of us see it? When the thief loses the $1.20 6 months after they stole the dollar, they don't relate it to the fact they stole the dollar. They relate it to the nasty person who manipulated them, the bad investment, right? Somebody who stole from them, or the bottle of perfume that fell and broke after they bought it for $80. They're taking it home, they drop it, now cracks, right? They lose $80 worth. Did they get any blessing for the $80? No, they lost $80. Why? Because somewhere they didn't give their tithing. So the universe has to take it away. Cause and effect, not God's punishment. Oh, they didn't follow God's law of tithing, punishment. No, foolish. Cause and effect. Did you ever put your finger in the electric socket, get shocked, and go, oh, God's punishing me? Yes or no? No, we got the shock. We scream at somebody else, but we don't blame God. How can we blame God? Who put their finger in the socket? Laws of science are just somewhat representative of the laws of the spiritual universe. They're immutable. You don't change them. You live with them. You work around them. How do we do anti-gravity? Gravity is a universal law, is it not? But when they build an 8-story building, they build it in a way that, at least temporarily, which could be hundreds of years, to counteract gravity. Don't they? Gravity didn't stop on an 8-story building, but they build it with steel beams and this, that, and the other thing, so it won't just collapse, right, when people walk on it. You put a second floor on and you put the floor of cardboard. At some point, a person steps on the cardboard. What's probably going to happen because of gravity? They'll fall through because the cardboard's not strong enough to hold up 150 pounds of a person. The law of gravity. So we look maybe like we counteract it in certain ways, but the gravity is still gravity. The same with all the laws. So let's start with why, hopefully a little motivation, because I want to awaken let's call it our passion, our extreme desire for all our blessings. So the first thing is to realize, one, every morning you wake up, whether you're conscious of it or not, and probably some of us do it consciously, you're asking for more blessings than you had yesterday. No? Some of you going, no, I'm just asking for the same. Just leave it the way it is. That's a blessing. Every day there are millions of people don't wake up. Every day there's millions of people getting in car accidents. Every day there's people who have trouble in their business, relationships, everything. So even if a person says, I just want it the same, that's asking for a more blessing. Because not everybody gets that. So there's no human being not asking for more blessing. So where are our blessings? If God put in our soul in the endless world 100%, gave us 100%, so where's our 100%? If we're at 80%, if we're happy 80% of the time, blessed 80% of the ways, where's the other 20%? It's in what we call darkness. It's in the bad situations in your life. It's in your fear, your anger, jealousy, greed, ego, insecurity, guilt, shame, sadness, being threatened, blame, victimization. That's where it's hiding. Light can't hide in the light. Light can only hide or be hidden in darkness. And again, from our point of view. So when you look at that nasty person and you've admitted now that's your darkness, then your blessing is hiding there. So our soul is directing everything in our life, giving us opportunities. We still have free will. We can listen to our soul, or we don't have to listen to our soul. We can choose to listen to that parasitic voice of the opponent, the challenger, the evil inclination, whatever name you want to give it, our ego. You have that choice, or you can listen to the light. And what you choose decides which direction your life is going to go. So we got to start realizing what my world looks like. And I have a world of 8 billion people. You have a world of 8 billion people. But we're not in the same world. Because I looked at the world one way, you look at it a different way. And everybody on earth looks at it a different way. But we all are in control of our 8 billion people world. So if I'm sending light to everybody, I'm seeing more illumination, and more of that comes back to me. Cause and effect. What goes around comes around. So then I will be connected to, and I will experience more light and more blessing. But we also have to realize, as we teach from Kabbalah 1 forward, because we want to give people practical tools to be able to just change their life right away. When a challenge comes our way, it's not a curse. It's not a punishment. It's our soul giving us the opportunity to reveal the light that has yet to be revealed, the part of the 100% that's missing. So if a person walking around with fear, they mean somewhere, many times probably, when they acted with fear, what's the effect of that? The piece of light of their soul gets covered in a shell of fear. Think of an orange. You ever peel an orange? Why do you peel the orange? Oh, because you only want the fruit. You don't want the rind. You don't want the peel, right? So you have to peel it. So why didn't the universe, why didn't you and I just create it that it could just be the fruit? Why did we put a shell on it? Think simple. Why is there a shell on an orange? Protect the orange. If it came off the tree, just that soft fruit inside, and it fell off the tree, squish, you'd never have an orange in the store. The shell is to protect the fruit so it can get to us. So when we want the fruit, we peel the shell off. Now we can enjoy the fruit. So the same thing, there's pieces of our soul's light and the blessings therein that are out there in shells. In this case, we talked about fear. So we covered some of our light in fear. So then our soul says, hello, you asked for more blessing? The piece of light that will bring you that blessing is over there inside this shell of fear that you created. So then when you're asking for it to show up, how does it show up first? Some challenge, some situation that triggers your fear. Because you got to peel away the fear to reveal the blessing. So when you're first awakened because of that situation to fear, you start to feel fear. And they say, don't ever forget, we say they pushed my button. Yes? That person said or did whatever, pushed my button of fear. Well, if you had no button of fear, would that situation have caused you fear? No, because you didn't have a button of fear. So you have to acknowledge they pushed your button means you have the button. So our job is to pause and say, no, my soul is giving me a chance to peel away the layer of fear so I can eat the fruit of the light. But what do I have to do? I have to act with trust in the light and maybe with a little tolerance, a little more certainty that the light is my source of good. That's peeling away the fear, counteracting the fear with its opposite. You don't do that. You don't peel away the layer of fear. You don't get the blessing of the light. So then what happens? In essence, a person put another layer of fear on there. So it goes out again. And then you wake up in the morning, you say, give me my blessing, give me my blessing. Well, it's hiding inside now a double layer of fear. So what has to happen next? Something has to push fear, but in a little more intense way. A little more fear than the first time. Because now there's two layers. Now you still have the choice. Peel away the two layers and have the blessing of the light, whether that brings you health, peace, love, protection, whatever it is, or heaven forbid, put another cover on it. So why do you think the world's in the shape it is? Because 8 billion people dealing with all the shells, all the covers, they put their light in. But when they get attacked by it, right, when their soul is saying, here, you're asking for your blessing, here it comes. But it's judgment, it's anger, it's jealousy, it's guilt, it's shame, it's insecurity, it's poverty consciousness. What do they have to face? Those emotions. But the parasite in the head that we programmed and put there, just go back to the last few spiritual Sundays, what does it say? No, act with fear again. Act with jealousy. Blame them. Be a victim. Fall into a pity party, which just puts another shell in another shell. So do you have any question why the world is more intense in its concentration of chaos and or blessings? Because 8 billion people, more and more shells. And the soul says, no, time is running out. You got to have all your blessings. So you got to peel away all those layers. But that voice in our head keeps saying, no, point the finger out, point the finger out. It's them. It's because of them. It's their fault. No. Something happens, you say, oh, I am so great. The button of ego comes up. We don't really think usually that's a bad thing. Because why? People telling me how great I am. Or I just did something amazing and I see this amazing thing happening. I am so great. Ego, separation from the creator. I did it. You can't even make your lungs breathe without the light activating the lungs. Take the battery out of your radio. Will it work? Could be a $100,000 gold-plated or solid gold radio. But you take the batteries out, it doesn't function. No light, no function. That's what death is. When the person disconnects themselves from the light. So ego is a disconnection from the light. Fear is disconnection from the light. Jealousy, insecurity, poverty, lack consciousness, greed, insecurity, separation from the light. So a person puffs himself, ego. I did it, my brains, my ability. Yes, you have to make an effort. But if you didn't have the brains given from your soul, your inherent potential, you wouldn't know what to do. You wouldn't know how to do the business or whatever it was you did. No, we got to start realizing. Our soul is saying, hey, wake up. I'm putting you in this situation so you'll know you have to peel away the fear, the jealousy, the ego, whatever it is, and then reveal your light. Because light is hidden in the darkness. It's not hidden in the light. So we have to face our darkness. If we don't face the darkness, we can't have any more light. Stay in your comfort zone. Where's your light? In the uncomfort zone. Forgiving the person you didn't want to forgive, being kind to the person you didn't want to be kind. What do we affirm? Greater, right? Means we're already doing some, but what's greater mean? We are capable to do more. No, stay in your comfort zone, then that's all you got. The unrevealed part is going to keep gnawing at us until we reveal it. You can't just say, I'm happy with 80% and walk away. The soul is not happy. The soul knows 100%, wants us to have the 100%. That's why it keeps pushing on us. Why it keeps allowing us to be put in situations where people will give us the chance to peel away those layers. So why do people think, why do people think there is reward and punishment? So this was, in this way, was an amazing revelation for me. And if you have any questions, that's why I keep offering. Make a one-on-one meeting. If you have a Kabbalah teacher, make a one-on-one. Some of this is confusing. How do you hear what your soul is telling you and how do you counteract it? So when people say, oh, and this is where Satan, that adversary, created the whole concept that God rewards and punishes. So let's say with murder, let's say with thievery, it's a little less intense. So the law is don't steal. So here comes Joe, steals, and then people see that Joe loses money or has a car accident or whatever. See, God punished Joe because he didn't listen to not stealing. No, cause and effect. So here like this. So I want everyone here online to see it. You know what a missile is? Unfortunately, we hear stories here and there, somebody shooting a missile from one place to another, right? So the person that's being shot at with the missile, they do it, but what would they like to do? What have they created so that they don't get hit with a missile? An anti-missile missile, right? The missile is going like this, it's shot, so it's going in the air. So ideally, before it hits, they want to send a missile up and shoot it out of the air, right? That way it doesn't hit. If they miss it or they don't have an anti-missile, what happens? Goes and it hits. Cause and effect, right? It's shot over here, it's going to come over here. Now, the Zohar tells us always we are given an opportunity to shoot that missile out of the air. It says always comes the cure before the ailment, always comes the solution before the problem. Like I told you, when I went to go put the plate of fish, the glass plate into the toaster oven, I heard the voice tell me, no, Chaim, maybe it's not going to take that. And I stupidly said, oh, it's not so hot, how could it? And it cracked. So I was given the opportunity. I didn't listen. I was given the ability of knocking that missile of a broken glass and losing the piece of fish before I did it. But I didn't listen, so boom. So what that challenger's done to us, see, they didn't do it. And then the bad stuff happened. God's punishment. No, it was cause and effect. But we don't remember all the cause we set up. We only know the effect when it shows up. Oh, look what they did to me. Or I am so great. Look what I did. We don't see the cause and effect. That's what you and I are learning here to accept. That there is a law of cause and effect. There's nothing that's not cause and effect. So you want blessings in your life? Take control over your life. Start acting with more love, kindness, and compassion. Generosity, humility, apology, forgiveness. All of the forgive me, but all of the God-like behaviors, as we've called it. But now you understand it's not about God. Oh, if we act like God, God will love us more. God can't love us anymore. It sees only 100%. It sees us only pure and perfect beings of light, because that's what it created. You and I can see, because we have a lack, we can see the lack in other people. If I have jealousy, I can see jealousy in others. If a person has whatever, anger, they can see anger. We can only see what we are. So the more we remove our shells and the more we are light beings, the more you'll see light in people. And the more you see light in people, the beauty of that is not, number one, there's more light shining out of you. You're more protected from darkness, because darkness can't enter into the light, but the light can enter into the darkness and take away the darkness. So you're protected from the negativity of people, etc. Also, simultaneously, if you're shining light out to your 8 billion people, or some part of that, then you're also awakening the light in their soul, because like will attract like. So if you're not sending light to people, then you're connecting to the things you don't like about them. If you're holding animosity to somebody who did you wrong, you're connecting to their hatred, their anger, their animosity, their greed, their ego, whatever it is that they did that was influencing them to do what you don't like. Because there's only two choices. You connect with light or darkness. Simple. So that's why it's to our own advantage, self-protection, self-survival, to send everybody light. Then I'm protected by the light. More and more and more, and I'm getting the blessings of the light. And I'm connecting to the light in those people, which is 100%, and not their jealousy, anger, fear, ego. This is why everything's so much more intense than ever in history. Because it's all those millennium and all those lifetimes of that negative energy, all those shells showing up now to be removed. Because our mission was to come here and reveal 100%. That can never be changed either. But it's either going to be voluntarily or involuntarily. Involuntarily is what they're calling judgment. When people are being beaten and robbed and all that terrible stuff out there, till they finally wake up and realize, you know what? The one common factor in everything bad that's happened to them is what? Themselves. So do they believe in cause and effect? I guarantee you, if you ask most people, even out there, they'll say, yeah, they believe cause and effect, action, reaction. Science tells us the same thing. But then when it comes to certain things in their life, they, oh no, now it's random. Now it's an accident. Now it's because of that terrible person. No, our soul attracts everything. Like attracts like. Our shells also attract things. The mercy is, like we said, shoot it out of the air. Act with greater love to the people you didn't want to love. And again, doesn't mean you have to hang out. Doesn't mean you even have to talk to them. But you have to meditate to take a beam of light from your soul and shine it out to their heart and soul. Now you're protected. You're connected to the light in them, which means you're connected to more light, less darkness. We're in charge. Nobody else is in charge of what comes our way. It's me and my soul. So I want to connect to the light in everybody's soul. I have to send light to everybody. Then I'm blessed with all that light. The mercy, like we say, yes, forgive the unforgivable, be kind to the one that you didn't like, even apologize. Don't let guilt. What's guilt? I want to beat myself up, which means I'm a good person because of something bad I did. Hello? How long do you leave the floor wet because you spilled water all over the floor? Do you just say, oh, okay, I'm going to feel guilty because I wasn't paying attention and I knocked over the glass, water spilled all over the floor, and I'm going to leave it there for the next 15 years? Because every time I look at it, I'll have guilt. Oh, I was a terrible person. How could I do that? How long would you leave it that way? You're going to walk in the water, say, oh, see, here's my punishment for spilling the glass. I walk in the water, I get my socks dirty, my feet are wet, slip all over the floor, everything. No, what do? You take a towel, you wipe it up. So don't hold guilt. Go out and apologize. Pay back, repair whatever it is you did. And if you can't figure out how to do it, ask a Kabbalah teacher how to do it. We'll tell you how to wipe up your mess. But that's the point. That's how we have mercy. That's how we shoot the missiles out of the air so they don't have to land. That's how you change your life. The Rav used to call it editing the video, right? You don't like something in the video, you edit it out, right? Now when you play it, it looks good. So this is what you and I are learning to do. Edit out your fear, anger, jealousy, greed. But Means you got to share more. You got to share uncomfortably. It's the only way to remove the shells. You created the shells in a comfortable way. Easy, blame, scream, yell, instant knee-jerk response. The only way to undo it is an uncomfortable act of sharing. It's not complicated. Not easy, but it's not complicated. This is why this is universal. Everybody can understand what we're learning here. Once you start getting into all the differences, not everybody's going to agree. Okay. If like attracts like, then the more we do, the more we get. Simple? Yes. It doesn't seem like it, but we are close to the end of chaos. Looks like there's more chaos. But think of it this way. When do some people finally go to the dentist? You have a friend tells you, they got a little ache in the tooth. Not so bad, right? And they don't go to the dentist, don't go to the dentist, don't go to the dentist. When might that person end up going? When it hurts more than they can tolerate. So the more pain they're feeling from the tooth, you and I, in essence, know the closer they are to going to the dentist and getting it repaired, right? So the more pain and suffering in the world, the more closely those people are to doing something about it. That's how we know we're so close to the end of chaos, because the intensity of the pain is getting stronger. At the same time, more people, there are more Zohars than ever in history because of the center around the world, even just the pocket Zohars. We got more people now handing out pocket Zohars than ever in history. There's got to be 1 million Zohars around the world because the students of the center understand this is the way to protect themselves and protect other people. Bring the world to the end of pain and suffering with mercy. Turn on the light, everybody sees the truth. Stay in the dark, people will keep doing all the negativity until the pain is overwhelming, and then they'll go to the dentist spiritually. Then they'll start acting like the light. We don't want to do that. The purpose of the center is to teach you how to do it with mercy. Yes, uncomfortable, because you got to share in ways you don't feel like sharing, but when you go against the feeling and you share the light of the Creator in all of its forms, then you get more blessing and you remove the shells that missile doesn't have to hit. If the missile already hit, okay, so go back right away into repairing it. Take the shells off. You can still do that, but you have to work that way. So the mission of the center is to teach us how to make the effort to shoot those missiles out before they come to be collected, before they hit. That's the power. So we have the power to change humanity. You know, Michael Berg was speaking yesterday. If you go on Kabbalah.com and watch his talk, you know, he's just again reminding us we are more powerful than we can even imagine. We have been given all the powers of the Creator, how to heal, how to transmute matter, how to bless people, how to bring the end of all the pain, suffering, death, but we don't believe we're that powerful. So this is why Karen actually is the one who pushed the Rav into creating Kabbalah centers. Because when you gather enough people, you can have one person at 100%, let's say, but that's going to be almost impossible. So it's a lot easier to, let's say, get thousands of people at 5 or 10% of our potential in unity will be more than the one person at 100%. You follow? So we have the power to change humanity because we are affecting all 8 billion people. And if all of us together in unity are affecting everyone with the light, like attracts like. If we're all sending light to all 8 billion people, even we're only doing it, let's say, through our filter of 10%. But if millions of us are sending 10% of our light out to 8 billion people, that could be the critical mass of light to wake up every soul, to realize they also have the power of the Creator, and to see that every bad thing ever happened to them is because of the bad behavior they did before that, not because of another person. Cause and effect. And when we see that cause and effect, like we said, the thief, will the thief want to lose the $1.20, or do they want to get the $9? So when the light is bright enough, because that's the power of the Zohar, it just shines light. Looks like a book, but it shines the infinite light of the Creator. When there's enough light, everybody sees the truth. And because you and I are sending light to protect ourselves and wake up their souls, then everybody will be guided. So it's ignite passion, ignite your desire. Do you want your piece of the Garden of Eden? Do you want all your blessings? Do you want peace and happiness and joy and love and all the good that you imagine and 1,000 times more? Then you have to send it out to other people. Then you start to awaken other people to the same thing. Then everybody starts to want their blessings, which means then they've got to share with everybody else. So as all of us will gather together and we'll start sending that light and awakening the light in other people, boom, suddenly you've awakened. You've taken away the clouds of darkness, and people see, because we are one soul. We've always been one soul. Everybody's affected everyone else. So send light to everybody. You're affecting 8 billion people and being affected by them. Send light, you get light. Because we want to turn our life into bliss. We want to have our peace and protection and all the blessings. We want to bring more people on board into that. So that at the end of the story, you have 8 billion people all acting with unconditional love towards everybody else. The world will not only be the Garden of Eden, but you'll have 8 billion people living with smiles on their face, happiness, joy, light, blessing, eternal bliss, happiness, unconditional love, caring for everybody else. That's the world we are meant to live in. That's the world that we were originally living in. And that's the world that we can reveal again. It's in our hands. Just wake up the desire that it's so strong that nothing else is going to stop you. Nothing else. No victim, no anger, no jealousy, no nothing. No voice of that opponent in your head is going to stop you from greater love, kindness, compassion, and all the good actions of the light. Because I want my peace of heaven on earth. I want my life peaceful and protected. Don't you? God bless. So I want to thank you, those of you also online. I know a lot of you are contributing and helping us in our mission because we can't do it without you. So this is why we take this time, free will offering. But all I ask of you is, ask your heart and soul. How much have you benefited? How much have you been blessed? How much have what you've learned here in the center in general and also on Spiritual Sunday affected your life? And then just realize, let me help that happen to everybody else. Because again, it's my protection. If by sharing what we do here, the Zohar and this awakening of consciousness will stop people from stealing, less likely we'll be stolen from. If we stop more people from violence and wake them up to realize forgiveness is better than violence, then we have less violence to worry about. The world is filled with less. That's the power. That's the power. And so that's why we take this moment. And then, yes, we will do our meditation, right? But let's just take it. For those of you online, I've put the giving site. And again, thank you. Share the videos. That's another way you can help, right? Give what you can give, but also just throw it out there in social media. These videos, YouTube, Instagram, here on Facebook, so other people who are waking up, even the ones you don't know, will find it, right? You have no idea how many people write, say, oh, I don't know, I was just surfing and then I see it. So if you and I all put it out there, more people are likely to find it. And the more find it, the more they'll realize, no, they can't blame you for the trouble in their life. They'll take responsibility and they'll change themselves. Speed up the process. So hold your offering in your hand here. Those of you online, just meditate, and then the link is on the comments. We just want to inject this offering, our gift, with light, love, and blessing. Accepting that our source is the infinite light. The power we have, the abilities we have, all come from the light. And we are just the conduits, the managers, the stewards of this light and all the abilities and all the resources that it brings us. And so with this love and this desire for the world to be at peace, to transmute all the chaos to order and all the darkness to light and all the divisiveness to unity and love. We'll go out through all the projects of the center, in all the ways and means that students are sharing the Zohar and bringing people to this wisdom, that we can achieve the critical mass that will shift the balance of power from darkness to light. in our days, knowing that the blessings come back to us many, many times over as we share from what the universe has given us. And together we say, Amen. Okay, so those of you who are new, yes, the primordial forces of light as they come into this physical world show up as what we call Hebrew letters. Primordial, that means it's part of our soul. And as we said, our soul is the only thing in common to every human being. So it doesn't matter if you know them or not, the shape themselves channel certain frequencies of the light of the Creator. And this is one of what's called the 72 names. Those of you in the room, you can see the whole chart of the 72 names, called the 72 names of God, meaning 72 aspects. So this one, Ein Mem Mem, oh, let me put it here for you guys. Let me put it here for you guys. Ein Mem Mem, 3 light force particles. They just are portals that allow the light of the endless world to shine into our world. Combines awakening, igniting passion, an unstoppable desire for light. Ein Mem Mem. So just let those shapes be engraved in your mind's eye. We're calling the names Ein Mem Mem. And if I can ask you to sit comfortably in your chair, in your seat, feet flat on the floor, hands in your lap. Please make sure your cell phones are turned off. Taking a few deep breaths, breathing in through the nose, hold the breath for a moment, exhale through the mouth. Breathing in the breath of life, because it's filled with the light of the Creator. Creating a stronger circulation, breathing in the light, let it activate all the light in the cells of your body from head to toe. As you exhale, removing, exhaling aspects of your blockages, your limitations. Allowing yourself to relax into this infinite light that's in you and surrounds you. Just focusing on the light through the breath, feeling more and more of that light inside you being awakened, activated. Now let's envision above our heads the Ein Mem Mem. 3 of the light force particles that shine the infinite light. See them glowing, radiating this light. Now slowly draw them in through the top of your head. Bringing them into your mind, to your thoughts. Allowing the light that shines through the Ein Mem Mem to awaken, igniting your passion for the light, igniting your true soul's potential, which is infinite desire for the pure light of the Creator. And slowly let the Ein Mem Mem travel from head to toe, radiating this awakening of a passionate desire for the light, to be awakened in every cell of your body. That your whole being is ignited to have a singular desire to think, speak, act in all the ways that will reveal the light of your soul. Activate the light in every human being on earth and reveal the infinite light of the Creator on earth. Feel that light of the Ein Mem Mem in your heart. Awakening the heart so that you'll feel the heart of every human being on earth. And through their heart, their soul. And feeling the passion that our soul and every soul has for the light. And the passion it has to reveal the light by greater actions of transformational sharing. To extend that light out to the heart and soul of every person on earth. Ein Mem Mem. Awakening the light inside their heart and soul, inside their mind, in every part of their body. And we're speeding up the awakening of 8 billion people, accelerating the transformation of the planet through more and more people awakening to the truth that they are beings, pure and perfect beings of light, and that their greatest blessings will be experienced, manifest for them through their greater actions of sharing and kindness, love, generosity, forgiveness, tolerance. Ein Mem Mem. Take note of the vibration, the energy you're feeling now, that shift that has already taken place inside you. And as the Ein Mem Mem is shining, vibrating in your heart, soul, and mind, ask your soul for guidance. Who do you need to share with? What ways do you need to share? How can you speed up your spiritual evolution? And then listen and record what your soul is telling you. Hear what it's saying. Listen to what it's saying. Commit yourself to do what your soul is now telling you is the best and the most important and powerful and beneficial thing you can be doing. And let's awaken and increase the gratitude we have for all that our soul has given to us, guided us, and holding together the vision of the world, shining with light, 8 billion loving, kind, unified people. We hold that together in heart, soul, and mind. And let's solidify it as we take one more deep breath. And as you exhale, slowly opening your eyes. Those of you here in the room, thank you for joining us. Those of you online, thank you for being with us. And please make the effort. It doesn't take much, online. Share the video. You can go to the YouTube. We have a Spiritual Sunday YouTube channel. I do post things on Instagram. God bless. Have a great day, a great evening, and a great week. Thank you for joining us. If you liked what you saw, subscribe to this channel that you'll be notified when we post new videos. Share the video with your friends. They can also benefit. And check out the website, www.kabbalah.com. That's Kabbalah, for hundreds of articles and classes. Wish you an amazing day, and God bless.